Tomahawk, the real game changer in VR shooters. Tomahawk, the real game changer in VR shooters.
Hello everybody and welcome. Catching another game here tonight. I am looking forward to this. Once again, another EU versus NA matchup. I love to catch these games, as you all know. We're looking at IVI versus Touch Grass here. Two very high standard teams, a lot of good players in the teams, so we'll see some nice gun skill here tonight.
Tomahawk,
I'm very interested in the strategies deployed as now we get into map 1. Starting off on Suna, we have Touch Grass on defense. This is going to be a hopefully close match, I would say. I think a lot of the matches so far in MLB have been very close, especially with how the maps are decided based on rounds. So, yep, high hopes. Let's see what IVI has on show for us as we go into the first attack round. Pistols. IVI opting for a fake here, it seems. It looks like they're sending the scan towards A, but actually the majority of players heading into mid. Actually, potentially a default, I'd say. Interesting to see on pistol round. Pan getting an early pre-nade onto Imagine. That's a great pick for him. As Scan is making his way aggressively out mid, knock on scaffold, entering with Scan. LMK swings into No Name and knock. Caught off though, that's the mid player down for Touch Grass, now a 4v4. As Pan and Mustache Mine are getting their respective kills towards the B site, and it's now just a 2v4. Just like that, the IVI push has fallen apart. Pop-Tart's getting a little bit aggressive on Cat, now opting to pull back though. Touch Grass know that IVI have mid control, but that's all they have. With this number disadvantage, Touch Grass able to just spread their wings and take the space they can. As IVI, the two players now regrouping, looking to hit B long here. Touch Grass have already acclimatized to this and they've all rotated. You see on the minimap the 4 players all stacked up towards mid, ready for that instant B rotation. Knock now spotted on long by Pan. Pan with the Glock going wide. Tags onto Goblin. Good, nade comes out, nearly gets Pan. Still a 2v4, IVI yet to find a pick, and Pan catches the collapse! Catches Goblin as he swings, cooking the grenade, Knock having his gun up. What a collapse that was from Pan. Glock headshot, one taps at range. He catches both of them. That is a great shot right there. That's Pan, 4 in the round for him. Very, very well played. A star pistol player. And just as I was hoping, both of these teams are going to put on a great show with their gun skill and strategizing. Is now IVI once again going into a default, taking Scanner into lower tons. LMK is a bit more prepared this time though. He is playing his spawn, now rushing out of spawn. He's playing close scaff. Flash comes out from IVI. A couple of cough baits as well. Touch Grass are very much expecting the mid push here. You see Pan on B long, wide swinging into Imagine and George. Just looking for any picks he can. George shutting down Pan on that B long. Looking at Cat now. LMK shutting down Goodman on Cat. Mustache Miner catching Imagine. 6-0 catching No Name. That's the Cat push down and the mid players are all gone. Just down to Knock in mid. Now also caught by 6-0. It's all down to George on long. George now the 1v4. Caught off by Pop-Tarts who swings for info. Very nicely played there from Touch Grass. We see IVI, they're spreading their default quite nicely. They're sending a lot of players into mid. We see the lower tunnels presence and top mid presence in garage as well. But Touch Grass are just doing so well to collapse onto the IVI attack. They're just letting them get that space in mid that they want, but then they're collapsing in from all angles. We saw Mustache come in from lower tunnels, I believe, pushing through A main. Now IVI going for a similar default once again. This time actually a fake, I will say. Pan pushed up on B long. Now swinging into one, catches a pre-fire, catches a second. Both IVI players caught with their guns down. Pan knows there's one more there. Touchgrass have successfully rotated here. Not catching Sixor, as Sixor decided to push through a main. Touchgrass are now fully aware they've been faked off of A site. This is up to Ivy now what they'll do, if they'll push or not. George catching Pop-Tarts as he pushes down mid. That's their lurker on B. As we see, it looks like Ivy will be wrapping back towards the B site here. LMK holding down back site, Pan holding down B. Touchgrass have opted to spread themselves out here and wait for any rotation that Ivy could show. It looks like Pan swinging B long is now seeing George as George makes his way down long. Actually, Pan may have not seen George. Knock makes his way up cat. Pan in a tough position here. George sees him, catches him. Now up to Mustache, rotating. Catches Knock, crossing to site with the scanner. LMK shutting down George on that long cross as well. So now it's just up to No Name in the 1v2. Touchgrass, one underpass, one on ramp. No Name is aware of both of these locations after his teammates will have called out. Deciding to go straight for scanner here. Playing on sandbags, he's got to be aware of long here as LMK makes his way right behind him. No Name just not aware of long as LMK catches No Name, just playing on the wrong side of sandbags there. He was caught unaware. Three rounds on the board for Touchgrass. We've seen a textbook defense so far. They're reading into Ivy's plays quite nicely, but what's really setting them apart is these one-on-one gunfights that they're taking and winning. Now Ivy going for their first full push of the map. It's going to be a full A-slam here. 3 towards main, 2 towards long. Let's see how Mustache Miner deals with this main push. Now Ivy come flooding out main. Goblin catches Mustache with that grenade. Sixor still up on back site. There's No Name catches one of the players in underpass. Sixor catches not Goblin on the refrag though, but Pan on the rotation catching one of his own as well. No Name pushed up on green, tries throwing a nade, but he's caught off guard. Now a 2 versus 2. Ivy with scan down. They've got a nice position to play here. Good thermite there from Pop-Tarts. And it's just landed on backside. That's unlucky for him. It's a strong position for Ivy, Goblin, and Imagine. So Goblin's able to pinch sandwich with Imagine. Imagine playing on fence though. He's going to have to swing at some point. I don't think Touchgrass are aware. Pan refragging his teammate, but Goblin's there to catch Pan. Very nicely played there. Good bit of discipline from Imagine. He's waited until Touchgrass have made their way onto site to swing, and then Goblin's timed it well to also swing for the refrag. A good 2v2 post plant to give Ivy their first round on Colonist side. Ivy now going for a B slam. Their A's worked, but it looks like they're going to have a go at the B push. Pan playing close, about to swing into 4 Ivy players. Now deciding to back off. Touchgrass are very much aware that it's a full B push here. Pan's gotten that info on all the footsteps. Pan now going wide. Smoke banks come out, can't catch anyone. Pan catching George through the smoke. There's just too many targets, not catching Pan. LMK still on long. Was playing with Pan. LMK catching 1, LMK catching 2, and a nade coming in from Pop-Tarts to finish off the 3rd. Now just out of Goblin, originally playing in mid to hold those rotations, now having to go and support, well, not support, but try and at least recover what his team has left behind on long. Very nicely played there from Touchgrass though. Goblin now in the 1v3, caught by Pop-Tarts. Very well played. Pan playing close on B long. He got the info that Ivy were full pushing B long, or at least 4 of them were. Lots of footsteps coming in. Then LMK with the rotation, Pop-Tarts also rotating long. And I think Touchgrass were just nicely aware that there wasn't anyone going cat, so they could just all focus on long. So to Ivy, it seemed like Touchgrass had 3 players on long, which they did, but a bit at timed intervals. Now going back to the full A push, it's worked for them before. Let's hope it works again. 3 going main. Mustache with the swing, runs out of ammo. 6-4 getting one on backside, still up. Pan catching one of the rotators. Imagine shutting down that backside player. Ivy now have sight control, but there's 3 players on touch grass all watching ramp. And now it's just down to Imagine 1 HP from that gunfight on the backside player. There's not much you can ask of Imagine here. A nice take from Ivy. They took the sight control, they took the players down, but their over-aggression onto those players on ramp cost them the round. Not much you can ask of Imagine here. Such low HP, especially on high ping as well. There's a very, very high chance of a trade or even just getting picked off first. He's going to rotate and see if he can catch anyone in the back. But I think Touch Grass are going to eventually wisen up to this rotation after seeing a lack of info on A. It looks like LMK now shifting towards the B site. I think he's aware of a possible rotation. Imagine we'll hear him go ladder here. Knife comes out. Imagine knows he can't cross long, especially without a smoke. So now he heads back to mid. I think his only hope here is going cat. As now Imagine opts to go catwalk, potentially having enough time to go to A, but he can't risk it. Now about to go into 3 of the touch grass players. Pop-Tarts with the pre-fire. Very nicely played. Imagine he was feeling the pressure of time, had to run up cat with his knife out. Pop-Tarts maybe not expecting him, also didn't have his gun out. But then Pop-Tarts just with that nice pre-fire to catch Imagine. And Imagine being on such low HP just wasn't possible for him. Touch Grass now 5-1 up on defense. They have been playing very nicely so far. Good rotations, good reads, and some great individual play coming out from them. Ivy are doing a good job on attack though. These rounds have been close. There's now a full B once again. This time a bit more cat presence as we see Pop-Tarts about to swing into Imagine. Thermite comes out. Imagine with the knife. Pop-Tarts with the one hand on cat. Very nice. As now we look at long. Pan is in Ninja. Ivy are now aware of that. George catching Pan. Now Ivy are going to have to try and cross. No Name swinging without the smoke. Catches 1. George catching 2. Refragging his teammate, but 6-4's there to refrag that as well. Now into a 2 versus 2. We have Gublin now making his way up cat. 6-4's got the information of that cat push. Great nade comes out actually. Gublin's able to catch the Pop-Tarts on cat. Now just down to 6-4 in a 1v2. Knock able to cross. They know 6-4's not coming underpass. And I think Ivy should be expecting 6-4 to come long here. Good positions here for Ivy. Gublin halfway down cat. Knock playing on default. This is a good post plant. 6-4's seen Knock on default. He saw that little bit of his cape. Now going for the pixel shot. Catches Knock. Very well played there from 6-4. Now 1v1 though. Gublin's got the absolute advantage here with the position on post plant. Plant isn't for Gublin though. I think 6-4 will have to go for the one-hander. Gublin swinging out, catches 6-4. A nice post plant there. Gublin going for the jiggle. A bit of audio baiting there to catch 6-4. He baited 6-4 into that pre-fire, and I think that's how Gublin knew that 6-4 wasn't on scan. So that was a great swing there from Gublin when 6-4 had to stick. That's 2 rounds for Ivy now on attack. Final attacking round coming in. Let's see what Ivy can pull out. Hopefully getting themselves just that little bit closer to touch grass. LMK going for an aggressive mid play here. Pushed up onto Xbox, now swinging the garage player. Gublin's so ready for it, he's so aware. As now Ivy are going to break their way into mid. With that mid pick though from Ivy, now splitting up the A players and the B players. As we see Gublin making his way out scaff. Catches Mustache on Duke. Mustache still up. George able to shut him down though. Pop-Tarts pushing down cat to try and stop this mid presence. But Pop-Tarts does catch 1. Pan also catching 1. Pan catching another. Now a 2v1. Pan with an absolute godsend of a play pushing down B long, saving Pop-Tarts' life as well in mid. That was a great coordinated double swing there maybe from Pop-Tarts and Pan. As now they have scan down and all the just, optimal angles to hold scanner. And just shooting through that little pixel. Not much Imagine could do here. He manages to get scan, actually, as now he's able to go to the A site. 50 seconds left. Touch Grass very much aware that Imagine is going to have to go to A. Nade comes out, tags Imagine slightly. Pop-Tart's holding that pixel, catches Imagine. There's now 6-2 for Touch Grass. They've got a nice lead for themselves. A nice relaxed attacking half for them. Touch Grass with their first offensive round, going for what looks like a B-slam here. Knock aggressive into mid, playing for lower tunnels. 6-all, jiggling them out though. So now we look at No Name on long. He's going to have 3 players swing into him. LMK crossing, catching No Name off guard. LMK already now up onto the site. But Imagine very much ready for our sandbags. Pop-Tarts with a great nade onto Imagine. There's now 2 players from Touch Grass coming out Cat as well. Touch Grass now have the site for themselves. Pan also going into under site and catching one. Knock making his way up Cat. 2v3. Goblin going long, taking that long option. But it looks like Pan has let Goblin run past him. Goblin not clearing that little rat spot Pan was in. It's now a 1v3 for Knock. I think they're very aware he's Cat. Pan's able to clear out all of B long. So that's 6-all going for that crouch beat. Knock able to shut it down. Loses some HP. Pan coming in with the hyper dash kill. Very nicely played. Pan with a 3 KD. 15 and 15. What a game he's having. There's now Touch Grass a 7-2 up against Ivy. A 5-round lead is nothing to scoff at. Attack is difficult on Suna, yes, but a 5-round lead is a very comfortable cushion to work with. And now Touch Grass once again going for a B push here. Ivy choosing not to stack the site just yet. I think they're still trying to feel out Touch Grass a little bit. No Name playing close. Not catching a mid player actually. That's a great pick for them. Shuts down Pop-Tarts. Because now it's all up to 6-all on the solo Cat push. Knife comes out from No Name. Nearly catches him. No Name with a great pre-fire. 6-all with a great pre-fire onto No Name is now 6-all making his way out Cat. Imagine trapped on site as Knock gets picked off. It's just now down to Imagine on site. Imagine catching one on cross. Now coming up ramp. 3v3. Imagine catching one on Penis as well. He's wreaking havoc. George catching Pan. It's just down to 6-all now as Imagine catches it as well. Very nicely played there from Ivy. Imagine with an absolute hero play. All of his team dying around him on site. He's dropped into the smokes and he's gotten 3 off of his own movement and gun skill. Very nicely played and very good timings there throughout the smokes. He's done a great job of using the concealment of the smokes to get LMK and Mustache Miner off guard. And then getting that 3rd player, 6-all on Cat. Very nicely played there from Imagine. Touch Grass once again going for another B push. They seem very confident in this. No Name jiggle peeking, getting that info is now Ivy coming in with the rotations. No Name going for the swing on long, catches one. Imagine catching one on Cat. No Name catching a 2nd on B long. Absolute flurry of kills coming in here. 6-all makes his way up Cat, catches the Cat player. But George is there from ladder on the refrag. As now it's just down to Mustache Miner in a 1v4. His entire team has just died in front of him. What can he do? Ivy now very aggressive here. All of them swinging at the same time. Nicely played there. As now Ivy, they're slowly closing the gap here between them and Touch Grass. They've put up a very strong defense so far. Touch Grass opting to just go constant B hits. Maybe we'll see a change in strategy now they're losing a little bit more. As Touch Grass now do go for an A. I think they're aware that their B wasn't working too well. Seeing 3 players go main here from Touch Grass. Let's see how George deals with this. Molly comes out, thrown into the smoke though. That's cancelled out. Blindfire comes in. 6-all getting 2 on the entry. Very well played there from 6-all. Goblin able to catch 1 on backside, but is caught off by Pan. It's now 4v2. 6-0 holding No Name and Unpass, catches that pick as well. 3 in the round for 6-0. As now Imagine tasked with a 1v4 retake and not able to do so. LMK pre-firing, holding the angle on Imagine. They knew where he was on Scaff, and Imagine was punished for re-swinging it. Now Touchgrass match point, 4-round lead as well. They have a very, very comfortable position here. But I'm sure Touchgrass want to win this in giving as least rounds as possible to Ivy. With the way MLV works, you don't want to give your opponent that many rounds. Now Touchgrass once again going for a full A push. It worked well for them, why not do it again? George with a swing catches 2. Very nice, still one more player in main as 6-4 does make his way out. Gublin shut down in backside. 6-4 getting another knock on the refrag though. Pan able to shut down knock, now 2v2. No Name on ramp. Opting to early swing, not waiting for his teammate. Now getting close, Pan with the swing, very nice. Now a 1v2 for Imagine. Once again, the last player left alive. Pan playing nice and close. Pan so disciplined, just hiding behind that barricade. Now going for the swing and will catch Imagine. 9-4 to Touchgrass. In all fairness to Ivy, I think that game was closer than it seemed. They've done very well there on attack to get themselves 3 rounds. Their defense was not so good for Ivy. Touchgrass's attack was just unrelenting though. Only dropping 1 round on attack is superb. Maybe we'll see a closer scoreline on other maps, but for now, 9-4 map 1 in the way of Touchgrass. They're in the lead in terms of rounds.
Tomahawk, the real game changer in VR shooters.
Now we make our way into map 2. Kidi, very interesting pick actually. We rarely see this in the first 2 maps played. Looks like Ivy starting with the defense. That's a nice advantage for them. Kidi known as a very defensive sided map. So it'll be interesting to see how they played this. We don't see Kidi that much picked in any league. So it's always interesting to see how teams will cope with playing a map that they don't play as much. Maybe Touchgrass are more confident on this map. I believe they're the ones that picked it. Speaking of confidence, Touchgrass starting off with a nice B slam here. 5 players into skate park. We see Knock aggressively making his way to alley though. Now rotating back, but it's all of Touchgrass going up cave. Gublin getting 1 with a nade. Gublin getting a 2nd. Mustache shutting down that backside player. Gublin getting a 3rd on site. Actually a 4th for him. On for the A's, just down to Mustache mine. And now as Gublin hits the knife, and then also shoots him through the smoke. That is a miraculous defense there from Gublin. All of Touchgrass rushing up cave. Not a single one of them managed to get out of cave without being shut down by Gublin there. A great nade catching that first aggressive pick. Then 3 others coming with smoke bangs. As they ran out the smoke, Gublin was there waiting for them. And then the final one getting knifed and then smoke banged as well. Yeah, that's a worthy ace for Gublin. Very well played. Now Touchgrass clearly suffering a little bit mentally from that. Going for an A slam. They're avoiding Gublin this round. No Name catches 1 on main. Refragged by Pam. Not catching a pick in mid with the SMG. As George also catches Pan on the cross to big site. Now a 2v4 for Touchgrass. 1v4, all up to 6-0. George getting another pick onto the A side player. George catching at the final. Good 3k there from George. Touch Grass, I think they're realizing now maybe the slams won't work out for them. They've been completely shut down on the both slams that they've done. Looking like a default coming out from Touch Grass here. Apologies for the tech issues for anyone on stream. We've had a bit of a game crash issue with the spectator cam. I'll try and narrate this as best as possible with absolutely no visuals. Touch Grass are currently defaulting. Pan and Sixor have gotten picks, so Touch Grass are in a 4v3. Knock is stopping them from pushing top waves though at the moment.
Tomahawk,
but Knock has
the
finally
real
been
game
taken down.
changer
It's now
in VR
3v2
shooters.
for Touch Grass on attack. Gooblin's on backside of B. All of Touch Grass are top waves. As now Sixor's killed George, who was in three-way. And now it's a 1v3 for Imagine, who is on B backside. The Touch Grass players are going bridge to A site. They're rotating. Imagine is clued into this rotation, is now also rotating.
Tomahawk, the real game changer in
Imagine's
VR
now
shooters.
in CT. For anyone that this is a good test of my callouts and your callouts, everyone, if you can imagine where he is. Now coming up to CT half wall. We see Touch Grass players on back site, top bridge, big rock. As Imagine's making his way onto site, crouch walking on. He catches one pick in Valley. Now 1v2. And Mustache Miner in backside is there to shut down Imagine as he tries defusing.
Round starting.
2-1 to Ivy on defense. That's Touch Grass's first round. Hopefully the cams and the tech issues will be sorted in time for this next round. Nice. As now everything all good with the cams. Everyone now you can see. I won't have to describe the rounds anymore. I'll just try and commentate on them as best as I can. They go by very quickly. Touch Grass are a very fast-paced team on their attack, we know. So it's very hard to catch everything that's happening, but we try our best. Not aggressive push down alley here. Good nade comes out, not getting anyone though. As Knock deciding to back off of alley. It's just a default here from Touch Grass really. 2 into mid, 2 skate park and 1A. I'd say sort of the usual default you see from most teams. Now Touch Grass are trying to make their way up of alley. They're going to have to face Knock here with the SMG. Knock swings, catching one. LMK on the refrag, also running an SMG. Sixor getting a pick of his own towards A. Now 4v2. No Name stuck on Horseshoe. Trying to swing the best he can. Touch Grass now realizing A site is open. The rotations are coming in. Pop-Tart's catching No Name, who was stuck on the Horseshoe. And now it's all left to Imagine. 1v4 clutch. Let's see what you can do here. A great shot there from Pop-Tarts to shut down Imagine.
Round starting.
Touch Grass now tying it up, 2-2. Touch Grass seem to have found their footing a little bit. The first 2 rounds they did lose. They were trying to do the slams. Now they've slowed their pace a little bit down. They're going for the picks more so than just slamming a site, and it's working well for Touch Grass. Now the question is, what will Ivy do to adapt to this though? Ivy pushing down aggressively. Gooblin already on CT on half-wall. Pan then shut it down though. That over-aggression has been punished with no refrag coming in. Sixor catching one on A site. George on the refrag though. Not much map control for Touch Grass. LMK and Mustache making their way into pod though. Ivy are very much aware of this. Imagine giving that info and George also having the info. I'm not sure if they're aware that LMK is so far up though. As now Imagine crouch walking down pond sense of his own. Looking to catch Mustache Miner. He does catch Mustache Miner. LMK makes his way up to half-wall though. Swinging Imagine. Imagine there to shut it down though. Now 2v2. Pan caught by Knock with a knife. And Pop-Tart's there to refrag that knife kill, though. Pop-Tarts is very much aware of where Imagine is. He knows he's in pond. HP advantage is for Imagine. Pop-Tarts has got that lovely post-plant position to play. That's a bit of a tongue twister. Imagine opting to come through archers to retake the site. But Pop-Tarts is going to let Imagine have sight and play nice and quietly. Pop-Tarts going for the swing, catches Imagine with his gun down. Very, very nicely played there from Pop-Tarts. In my eyes, Pop-Tarts had one of two options of playing that. He could play aggressively and deny Imagine any position in archers, playing that head peek on backside. Or Pop-Tarts going for the second option, which is to play backside, let Imagine come onto the site, but as Imagine's having to rush to clear Pop-Tarts, Pop-Tarts then goes for the swing. Pop-Tarts opting for that second option. He's done very well there to catch Imagine. So we see another default from Touch Grass. They are in the lead on this attack. Very, very interesting to see. Knock once again pushing down into alley. Pop-Tarts making his way up waves now. He's all the way up. Sees the nade from Imagine, manages to dodge it. LMK catching Knock, who was on top of alley. Touch Grass now having a good bit of mid control as LMK makes his way into pond. Pop-Tarts catching a nade kill onto Imagine on backside. Sixor also killing George towards A, actually. Goblin last left alive on B site. He's taking a 1-on-2 gunfight here. Finds the first, lovely headshot pre-aim that was. Finds the second with a lovely headshot pre-aim. You'd think this guy is wall hacking with how many headshots he's hitting. A 2v2 now, Goblin single-handedly shutting down that push onto the B site. Ivy with the health advantage, and both of the Ivy players are actually split up though, not in the best position here. Goblin has scanned down on site, but No Name has to be so cautious about anyone stopping him from taking site. It's all up to Mustache Miner here really to try and catch Goblin.
30 seconds remaining.
Sixor waiting for No Name, catches No Name as he tries rotating site. Now down to Goblin in a 1 versus 2. Swings Mustached, not able to find it as a flash comes in, catches Mustache now. But Goblin on a sliver of health. 15 seconds left for Sixor to take Scanner. Goblin going to play a bit of ring around the rosy here. Sixor sees him. Goblin playing the info here nicely. Sixor with a great pre-fire though, catches Goblin. Just Goblin being on that low health. So nearly had the round there, but Sixor just getting that one little shot in, and it's all it needed to take Goblin down. It's now Touch Grass a 4-2 up. This is a great attack so far from Touch Grass. We've seen 4 straight round wins from them. After they figured out that the fast rushes weren't working, they decided to go for a slower approach, and it's worked lovely for them. Same setup here from Touch Grass. Just a 1-2-2. They're letting Sixor go on his own towards the A site. He usually finds a pick here, which is quite good for him. Knock on pond stairs. Sixor catching one of the A players. It's a good pick there for Touch Grass, as I think they'll start swinging towards the A side maybe. Not getting ready for that bridge swing. LMK in front of him. Catches him. No Name also shutting down the A lurk. Sixor down. Now 3v4. Just like that, Touch Grass. Numbers disadvantage. As Mustache decides to take bridge control. Hasn't seen Knock below him. As now I think they'll hear that audio though from Knock trying to get up the stairs. There's not much map control here of Touch Grass. They're looking for these mid picks on bridge. That comes out from Knock, not able to catch it now. Coming in with a drop shot. APC9 Pro catching Mustache Miner. Now a 2v4. Imagine catching Pop-Tarts. Pan on that refrag. 1v3. Pan knows where one is. Catching one. Knock on the refrag though. Very nicely played there. And just not able to reload in time. I think he heard Knock coming from behind him. Just was not able to get the reload done though. And Knock with that close range SMG wreaking havoc on Touch Grass. As now Ivy shortening that gap between them and Touch Grass. 3-4. Touch Grass are in the lead though, which is great for them on attack. But you never know what Ivy has in store for them on their attack. Once again, Touch Grass with the same default, actually not having their A lurker this time. Instead just going for 3 mid. As Pop-Tarts and Pan making their way up alley, making their way up wave so aggressively, already in archers. As all of Touch Grass are in one spot, Sixor catching 2, Pop-Tarts also catching 1. Goblin, last beat defender alive, now caught by Sixor as well. And just like that, it's Nock, the last player alive. He's seen where Sixor's gone. Sixor just able to hide behind that arch. Nock now able to catch Sixor, 1v2. It's going to be hard for him to fight the head peek here with that SMG. He's going to go for a rifle. Does manage to get one, but he loses so much health from it, you've got to question if it was worth it. Actually, doesn't manage to. Yep, no, doesn't manage to get the rifle. Still opting for that SMG. Pop-Tarts has seen him crouch walking down, and he gets the kill. Nock there, disadvantaged with that short-range gun. That's the risk of picking an SMG on Keedy, sadly, as sometimes you do have to take that long-range gunfight. Touch Grass with an overwhelming attack there. All 5 of them at one point were within a 5-meter radius of each other in top waves around CT Harful. Couple nades there from Ivy could have been the end of Touch Grass's round. But they managed to pull through. They broke their way onto the B site with brute force, and it worked so nicely for them. As now we see Ivy going for a full B push. Pan and Mustached on the back site as we're seeing Scanner head towards mid for Ivy. Maybe a bit of a fake. Goblin making his way into bubble. Pan catches him. No Name refragging Goblin though, as LMK getting his own pick towards mid. George and No Name have managed to make their way onto the site though, but the rest of their team is dead. And Scanner as well is gone. As I said a bit before the push, I did notice Nock made his way towards 3-way with the Scanner. Very interesting to see Scanner go away from the push. And he's been completely punished for it there. LMK pushed down alleyway, has caught that Scanner player. And now Ivy is scrambling to regain the Scanner. As LMK catches George. It's now 1v3 for No Name. Deciding to go for the Hyper Dash. Whipping those 2 guns out. I think he's given up on winning this round legitimately, and he's going for a bit of a troll. Do you see him running into mid, shut down by Pop-Tarts. Yeah, nicely played there from Touch Grass. A bit of a blunder from Ivy to let the Scanner go into 3-way and be lost like that. They did end up getting sight, so it probably would have been smarter to take the Scanner with them. But nonetheless, I'm sure Ivy are ready to learn from that experience and come back a bit stronger. But for now, Touch Grass 6-3 in the lead. As Ivy once again going for a full B push here. Pan pushing down waves, catching one with the nade actually, not with his gun. Imagine managing to get LMK. No Name also killing Mustached. Now Pan left alone on the B site, having to hold 4 of these Ivy players as they run up onto the site. No Name shutting down Pan. Pop-Tarts catching Goblin though, in mid, I believe. Imagine catching Sixor. Now it's just down to Pop-Tarts. Able to get one, but No Name on that refrag.
Round starting.
It's a great push there from Ivy. They've done very well to take that site control. And it looks like we're seeing a 5v4 now, as Ivy have lost one of their players. It's a shame to see. They were just pulling it back actually, just getting that bit closer to Touch Grass. As now Ivy going for the B-slam. LMK's made his way all the way into 3-way already. Ivy are aware of this now as Gublin's heading towards LMK. LMK with his gun up though. Gublin not ready for it as LMK catches Gublin now a 5 versus 3. And Touch Grass have so much map control. No Name managing to catch LMK. Sixor not able to refrag. Ivy gaining a bit more map control now. Still not in a very ideal position as Sixall's holding their rotation. Oh, knife comes out from Sixall, nearly catches them. As it looks like Ivy are going to try and make their way into alleyway. The scanner entering here, interestingly enough. Pan catching knock. He'll now hear the scanner in alleyway. 3v2. Scanner has now been recovered in alley. And now it's just now left to Imagine. Then 1v3. Pan with the jumping shot onto Imagine. What the hell was that? I thought you're not meant to be able to shoot someone when you're midair. That is incredible there from Pan. I'm not sure what to even call that. I thought the devs had made it so that when you're jumping, you're not meant to be accurate, but Pan still finds a way to get that jumping one hand. What a way to finish the round. As all hope seems to be gone for Ivy. A 4v5, especially on attack, really is not a good situation. Knock nearly dying to a pre-nade there in skate. Ivy are going for a bit of a default here. Goblin just waiting outside of A. Caught out by Sixall as now Goblin rotates back to mid just to join his team now with the push. It's going to be hard for Ivy to find any ground here. Imagine makes his way into pond. Pan ready for it, but no name's there to shut down Pan. Now Ivy breaking a hole into the defense. Mustache managed to catch no name in mid. Imagine catching one of his own onto A site. LMK catching knock in bridge though. It's just down to Goblin and Imagine, who are on, well, not really completely different sides of the map, but Goblin making his way through A main. And Imagine is CT wall. Interesting setup. But the main issue for them is they do not have the scanner. Knock has been killed in skate park. That scanner down. Now 2v3 retake for Ivy as they're trying to get scanned back. Imagine on a bit of a mission to clear out the A site. Goblin sees Pop-Tarts. The trigger discipline comes in here. It doesn't pay off sadly, only catches one. LMK on that refrag. Now a 1v2 for Imagine. Making his way into CT now. 20 seconds left. He's got to recover the scanner or kill two people. Or both. LMK holding him from pond though. 15 seconds now for Imagine. Not sure what he's planning here. Touch Grass are able to just run away and play time. 10 seconds now. As Sixall's there to shut down Imagine. Now 8-4 for Touch Grass. And it seems like Ivy are going to be doing a bit of trolling here, maybe. Knock with a shotgun. I think Ivy may have given up now that they're in a 4v5, which is a shame to see. As they're going for a fillet push. I'll hold off on my slander until I've seen Knock with this shotgun. I'm interested to see what he can do with it to make it work. There's now Knock heading towards mid instead, leaving the A site. No name fighting, Sixall on main. Imagine catching Pan in mid. Good pick there. Sixall able to get one on main though. Sixall also catching Goblin. LMK catching a pick of his own in mid. As now it's just down to Knock. Scan carrier with an iron sight shotgun. Now at this point I'll question what the hell is he doing? He's in a 4v5 already. Maybe whipping out the shotgun wasn't the best of ideas. Great nade there. Catches Pop-Tarts. What a nade. I'm not sure if he knew the guy was there or if that was just sheer luck, but very well played. Now a 1v3. And I must say, for someone with a shotgun, this is probably the most ideal situation you can be in. He's able to isolate close range fights if he wants. Catches his first pick. Catches a second, but Sixall's there. I will say a very close attempt at a 1v3 there, but Touch Grass able to close it out. Sixall, what a map he's had. 15 and 7, very nicely played. Pop-Tarts not far behind, 14 and 8. As it seems now, Ivy have dropped down to 3 players, and now 2 players. Now Ivy, I'm sure they're not hoping to 2v5 this final map. I don't think that'll be a very interesting watch, to
Tomahawk,
say the least.
the real game changer in VR shooters.
Now, Ivy just with one player left. I'm going to take a gander and say that's it for Ivy. A shame to see. Only doing 2 maps. I think they're going to end up forfeiting this 3rd map to touch grass now.
Tomahawk, the real game changer
Bit of
in
information's
VR
come
shooters.
in. Ivy probably making a new lobby here. I think they weren't able to recover their 5th player, so now moving on to a new lobby. I think we'll find out, hopefully, in a minute. Seems like we've had a lobby issue once again, so we will be having to remake here. It seems like Ivy will be continuing for a 3rd map, which is great to hear. As we will get right back to you for the 3rd map. Now making our way into the new lobby. We will be ready to go shortly. Just giving some time to get Ivy's players back in, and then we will be good to go. Sorry for the wait, everyone. I hope you've all been enjoying it so far. Shout out to anyone in the chat. If anyone would like to give their map 3 predictions, I'm very open to hear it. I believe it will be Miru for the 3rd map. And it looks like Ivy are bringing in a sub here. We've got Mott playing as the new 5th man. Right, Ivy nearly back up to 5, and then we'll be good to go. Just waiting on one more. Right, welcome back everybody. Going into the final map here. Ivy starting in a 3v5. I think they're hoping to regain a fourth player. Not sure if they're ever going to get a fifth in though, but I think they're going to put up a fight hopefully with this 4v5. Let's see what they can do. Never put a team out of the runnings. You never know what they can do. I'm sure Ivy have some tricks up their sleeve for being in a 4v5. Let's hope. Ivy starting off on defense. Not much they can really do with three players here. Touchgrass can just gamble and pick a site to go to, or even just default and figure out where the Ivy players are. I think Ivy, choosing stack B. That is actually the right call, as they are going to end up having all of Touchgrass pushing them. Touchgrass are running a 5-man cat, now a 5-man into bunker. Imagine very much aware of this. Touchgrass now pathed their way all into bunker. Nice smokes coming out as well. Pop-Tart's managing to grenade himself. I think that sets the tone for how this map is going to go for everyone. LMK running away while someone is shooting at him. Mustache Miner catching No Name with that Uzi. Imagine's made his way into alleyway. He's going to get pinched. Imagine catches LMK, Pan able to kill Motto and CT, and now it's just down to Imagine in a 1v3. Six away able to catch Imagine. That is the first round on the board for Touchgrass, and I'd assume not the last. Pan picking up Mott. Touchgrass now on site. Imagine kills LMK, who's pushing bunker. No Name catches Pan as well. 6-4 able to kill No Name, kill Imagine, and No Name shut down the CT. Touchgrass going for a B. No Name on his own on B. He swings, shoots, and he dies. Now, Imagine trying to kill 6-4. What the hell? Okay, and 6-4 kills Imagine. LMK killing Mott. Another round for Touchgrass. Another B for Touchgrass. This time, IVR choosing to stack it. Got Imagine pushed up close on short, and Touchgrass are doing another bunker push, and it's worked for them again. Nobody's stopping them. And the fact they're doing a reverse elbow push, I love to see this. Pan kills Mott and CT, and the reverse elbow push has worked. No Name on site, catches one, catches two, gets caught on the reload, just down to Imagine, who has now followed them into bunker. Kills Mustache, now 1v1. Will they win a round in the 3v5? We'll see. LMK is going to go for the plant, is now holding, and Imagine kills him with a Vector. 1 round for Ivy. What a map. What a map. We're seeing Touchgrass are clearly trolling just that little bit. I think they're underestimating Ivy's 3 players. Or I suppose correctly estimating, since it is a 3v5. Touch grass, defaulting. I think they're a bit hurt about losing a round. LMK killing one. Making his way into CT, Mott on CT stairs, ready for it. LMK drops on his head, goes for the one hand, does catch him. As now it's Imagine in a 1v4. Probably going to die, you'd assume. Catches Pop Darts, 1v3. Let's see how long it takes for him to realize the plant's on A. I think he's realized now. Bit too late. LMK is going to pistol him here. Good shot there from LMK with the pistol. Very nicely played. As now Touch Grass are going for a B push. Making their way onto the site. Nearly all of Touch Grass are on site, and that's just down to Imagine, just like and Imagine's gone. Before I can even switch them, 5-1 for Touch Grass. Yeah, they're clearly enjoying the 3v5, or maybe they're just enjoying running at people and not having to worry really about losing the rounds. Yeah, good for them. They're playing pretty well so far. Very aggressive play. Obviously, they've realized that there's not much map control IV can have, since they are only 3 on the side of IV. LMK getting plant down, Mott down, and just like that, IV dead again. Mott yet to get a kill. Hopefully we'll find one sometime. But for now, we are just going to enjoy this nice change of pace, maybe change of play. It's interesting to see watching like a team of players just rush completely. It's quite funny to see, I suppose. So we'll see if IV can adapt or begin to maybe try and get more than one round. Actually, as I say, noticing now, Frenzy Killer managing to come in now, 4v5. Touch Grass going to have to focus up a little bit more, as their entire A push fake has worked for them so nicely. Pop-Tarts with the G2AZ catching No Name, able to be shut down. Mustache getting refrag. Mustache getting another on B. Lovely 2k there for Mustache Miner. Nicely played. Nicely played. Is now Ivy looking a lot scarier. They've got more than 3 people now, so I suppose they're a bit more threatening. Let's see what they can do with the extra player. The entirety of Touch Grass have now rushed B. Imagine catching LMK, shut down by Pop-Tarts, and just down to Frenzy Killer, who had crashed in spawn. He just joined, unlucky. Now Touch Grass are rushing everything they possibly can once again. Pop-Tarts with the SMG catches Mott. Imagine does kill LMK and split. Pop-Tarts on the refrag though with that SMG. 6-or rushing with the Vector, catches one. Now Frenzy Killer in a 1v3, and Mustache is there to close it out. That's the map, 9-1. My apologies to everyone watching. I